Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about my wish list for the Sephora Spring Savings Event. This is commonly known as the VIB sale as well. It happens twice a year, once in the spring and once during holiday season, usually Thanksgiving time. The thing about this sale is basically the percent off you get for your whole order depends on where you live on the tier system for Sephora. So you can sign up for free to be a beauty insider. If you're a beauty insider, you get 10% off your entire purchase, and that can be multiple times during the sales period. The second is if you are a VIB member, which is the second tier. You have to spend a certain amount of money at Sephora every year to be a VIB member, and you will get 15% off. The third tier is your Rouge members. That's the top tier based on how much money you spend at Sephora within a year. Your Rouge members get 20% off their entire order. And again, you can use this multiple times during the sale. Now, the other part of the sale is when you get to shop is also dependent on what tier you are. So if you're a Rouge member, you shop first, and that sale starts on April 9th, which is Friday. And if you're a VIB member, you'll start to be able to use your 15% off on April 13th. And if you're a beauty insider, then you get to start shopping on April 15th, and the sale goes until the 19th of April. Again, you can use the code, which is OMGSPRING, multiple times online, multiple times in the store, so it doesn't matter. I figured I would go into my wish list, things that I've had my eye on. I just kind of gonna open up my favorites tab on the Sephora app and kind of go through what I've been looking at. So I figured I would break this into sections, into skincare, makeup, hair care, and then fragrance. We're gonna get to fragrance at the end. So I wanna start with skincare. There's a few things I've had my eye on. First and foremost, I wanted to try a few different sunscreens to try them out, see what I think about them. Now, a little bit about me, I tend to gravitate towards mineral sunscreens only just because I have oily skin, so they tend to do better on my oily skin. But if you love chemical sunscreens, there are some new products on the market that are kind of focusing on reef-friendly chemical sunscreens. So I was looking at this one from Supergoop. This is the Unseen Sunscreen SPF 40. This is an all mineral-based sunscreen. Again, Supergoop does have some of their other sunscreens that are a mixture of both mineral and chemical. The only thing I've ever tried from Supergoop, I've tried their glowy one, and that didn't work for me. And I should have known, I got it as a sample, but I should have known, again, with my oily skin, that I was not gonna be able to wear that well. I think it's called the Glow Screen. But I figured I would try. I kind of liked the texture and the formula, so I think I'm gonna try this Unseen sunscreen. This is $44 for 73.9 mLs. Next up in skincare, I have a repurchase. My favorite moisturizer is at Sephora, and that is the Drunk Elephant Proteiny Polypeptide Moisturizer. I love this moisturizer. I hate that I love this moisturizer because it is expensive. It's $68 for 1.69 ounces or 50 mLs. Now, the reason why I love this moisturizer is when I'm looking for a night moisturizer, especially in the spring, summer, I am looking for a non-retinol moisturizer, so not a night moisturizer, just because I use a prescription retinoid already. Also, I need something that's not gonna be too thick because I do have that oily combination skin. And I don't want something that's gonna stick to my pillow, is really goopy and sticky and sticks to my pillow. And this does not do that. This also has some really, really great ingredients. It is chock full of peptides. If you've watched some of my other videos, you know I love peptides. They increase collagen production in your skin. They kind of get that collagen machinery going. And as we age, we lose collagen. So we need to use peptides to be able to do it. This has got a lot of peptides in it. There's no fragrance in here. There's no essential oils in here. And it's in proper packaging. This looks like it's in a jar, but it actually is a pump system. So it is opaque packaging because we have light and air sensitive ingredients in here, and they're not going to degrade with this packaging. So I'm a big fan of this. Now, am I in any way saying you need to spend $68 on a moisturizer? No. There are really good moisturizers at the drugstore as well. I just haven't been able to dupe this formula. I haven't been able to dupe this formula with the texture of it, with the packaging, with what I'm looking for. So I'm still on the hunt. And if you guys have any recommendations of a dupe for this formula that kind of ticks those boxes, I'm all about it. But until then, I'm gonna wait for the VIB sale or the spring savings event, and I'm gonna buy this moisturizer. The last thing in skincare, I'm looking at the Pharmacy Deep Sweep 2% BHA Pore Cleaning Toner. So I typically use the Paula's Choice 2% BHA, which, to be fair, I absolutely love. And I'm also very excited because Paula's Choice is now being sold at Sephora.com. So that's really, really exciting stuff. But at the same time, again, I'm always looking for good alternatives. I always want to try out good skincare. And so I've been looking at this Pharmacy. I've heard good things about it. It's got great reviews. And I am a big Pharmacy fan. You know, every brand has their hits and misses, but there are a few products from Pharmacy that I'm actually a big fan of. So I think I'm going to give this a try. All right, moving on to makeup. There's been a lot of different things I've eyeing, some of which are new, some of which are not new, but I've never tried them. So I definitely kind of use the VIB sale to kind of say, I've been looking at that for a while. Maybe I should pick it up, especially at 20% off. One of the first things I've been looking at is from Charlotte Tilbury. This is not a new product, but it's an OG for a lot of people. And that's her Cheek to Chick blush. I was specifically looking at the shade Ecstasy, which is like a peachy pink. This is kind of a two-step blush where you're supposed to swirl and then kind of pop it in just to get the two tones of it. I have heard many, many good things about these blushes, and I've always wanted to try a Charlotte Tilbury blush. She also has those wands. I have her highlighter wand, which I love. It is perfect for mature skin. It does not accentuate texture, where I'm tending to use a highlighter. And she also has a blush in that wand formula, and I've had my eye on that as well. I think there's a peach-gasm and a pink-gasm. So I'm gonna be going back and forth trying to decide, do I pick one of these up? And if I do pick one of these up, which one do I pick? Staying with Charlotte Tilbury, she also has just launched a bunch of new brow products, and I've been eyeing them because I tend to not sway from my favorite eye products. And I'm kind of like, well, the whole point is to try new things and see if there's other things that you like. And because she just launched all these different brow products, I thought, maybe I should pick one up. And if you'd like me to review one on my channel, let me know down in the comments below, and I'd be happy to do it. The two I was most interested in, one is the Brow Cheat Refillable Hair-Like Eyebrow Pencil. This reminds me of the Benefit Precisely My Brow, which is one of my favorite products. And then, or maybe like the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. And then the other is the Legendary Brows Tinted Eyebrow Gel. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know that eyebrow gels are my favorite. I'm a really big fan, again, of the Benefit Gimme Brow. And I also love the Boy Brow by Glossier. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to decide, do I pick up both of them? Do I pick up one or the other? Do I branch out a little bit? What do I do in this situation? The other brow product that I was looking at is a new one from Huda Beauty. I saw this come out and I kept thinking about it, and then I said, maybe I'll wait for the sale. And that's the Balm Brows Micro Shade Brow Pencil. This also has some pretty good reviews on it, but it's, again, something like the Precisely My Brow from Benefit. So maybe I'll have to decide, do I pick them both up? Do I choose the Huda Beauty? Do I choose the Charlotte Tilbury? I'm just not sure yet. Next, we've got a bronzer. This is from Tarte. This is the Sea Breezy Cream Bronzer in the color Seychelles. Now, again, this is not a new product. I think it was launched a good year ago, maybe even a little bit more than that. But they launched the cream blush this year, and I picked that up and I love it. I love the packaging. I love the feel of it. It's actually gonna probably show up in my favorites and fails. I totally missed the boat. March kind of got away from me, and I did not film a March faves and fails video. So I think I'm gonna combine March and April and just do it that way. It's gonna be a long video, but I figure I'd do it that way. But that Tarte Sea Breezy blush is absolutely beautiful. And it made me start to think about this bronzer as well. And I don't know what it is about me right now. I am so into the cream products. And it's a problem because when you do your makeup, it's so common for me to put my foundation on, get my concealer, and then set. Because again, I've got that oily combination skin. Well, the problem is when you're using cream products, you're supposed to set after you put the cream products on. And so I set and then I go, crap, I was gonna use cream products today. So I kind of have to relearn how to do my makeup so I remember to use some of these great cream products I've been trying out. But again, the Tarte Sea Breezy blush is amazing. So I think I'm really gonna pick up this bronzer because it's got great reviews. I've heard good things about it, but I think that's going into my cart. Next, keeping up with the cream products, I wanted to try something from this brand, Westman Atelier. I have never tried this brand. It is kind of pricey, so I've kind of been going back and forth with it, but I have seen it get very good reviews, especially their Baby Cheeks Blush Stick. I'm looking at it. I do not know how to pronounce this in French. Chouquette. It's the nude peach. That's the color I've had my eye on, but it's gotten really good reviews. I've seen a few YouTubers review it and say some nice things about it. So I'm thinking about picking it up. We'll see if it ends up in my cart or gets cut depending on, you know, how much money I'm actually spending. But all right. And then moving on to face products, complexion products. I have had my eye on two different foundations. I think I know which one I'm going to pick up. The first one was the AngieKBeauty Good Apple Skin Perfecting Hydrating Foundation Balm. Now this foundation kind of broke TikTok. You know, all these people were saying amazing, amazing things on it, but I wanted to wait because I find that sometimes the hype really causes people to not think critically about something. And the more reviews I've seen about it, especially with people with my skin type, have said, no, it's not very good. It breaks down very quickly and you get very greasy. It's just not very good for oily combination skin. Now, I have heard if you have normal to dry skin, this is amazing, but I think I'm gonna pass on it just because I don't wanna be disappointed by a foundation. And who knows, I may not even be able to get it even if I wanted to because I know it's out of stock right now. The other one I think is gonna be the winner for me. This is from Dior. This is their Dior Forever Skin Glow Foundation SPF 35. So the Dior Backstage Face and Body is one of my favorite foundations, and I do have my top 5 high-end foundation video coming. It's gonna be uploaded in the next week. And I love the Dior Forever Concealer. So I am very hopeful. I am hopeful that I'm gonna love this foundation because I've had very good luck with Dior complexion products. And then finally, when it comes to makeup, eyeshadow. So I tend to wait for this sale and I always seem to pick up an eyeshadow palette that I've had my eye on. The problem is I've got my eye on a lot of them and I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do. So I have been going back and forth about the Natasha Denona Glam palette for a while. I own a lot of the Natasha Denona mini eyeshadow palettes and I absolutely love them. And because they're $25, they're not so much of a gut punch when you pick them up. But I do own her bronze palette, which is the midi palette, which is the $65 palette. I love it. I absolutely love it. But right now it's kind of tucked away because I tend to reach for it kind of in the fall, kind of winter time. This glam palette, everyone raves about it. It showed up on so many different makeup YouTubers, top 5 palettes of 2020. And it does look really, really interesting. I ignored it at first because it's very cool toned. And I tend to gravitate more towards warm tone neutrals versus cool toned. But the more and more I look at this, the more I'm thinking about it. The other palette from Natasha Denona, is her Biba palette. Now this is another neutral palette, but this is her full size palette. So this is $129 and I just don't know if I can do it. I just don't know, even with the 20%, but I've never heard someone say anything negative about this palette. And I keep wondering, if I was willing to spend $65 on the Glam palette, which I'm not sure with the cool tones, whether I'm gonna like or not, why would I not spend the higher price for the Biba palette, which is neutrals as well, but it's not just cool tone and it's amazing. So I keep talking myself in and out of it. A few of the other palettes I've looked at kind of in my wish list. I have never tried Pat McGrath Labs formula. And again, I've heard amazing things about them. So I was perusing and there's 2 of her Mothership palettes that I looked at. One is Mothership 5, which is Bronze Seduction. And then the other is her Mothership 7, which is the Divine Rose 1. There is a Divine Rose 2 as well that everyone talks about. But I find the Divine Rose, the first one, not nearly as intimidating as the Divine Rose 2. These are just beautiful palettes. I know her formula. I've never tried it, but I know her formula is a good one. So I go back and forth. I haven't picked up any of the minis because I've heard her formula in the minis are not nearly as good as her formula in these large palettes. So I think that's why I just haven't tried the formula yet. But again, we'll have to see. Maybe I'll, make the decision this time for this sale to get this. And then finally, in eyeshadow palettes, I've been looking at the new Huda Beauty Brown Obsessions of these 9-pan palettes. There's a toffee, a chocolate, and a caramel. And all of these look really nice. They kind of look up my alley. Now, I have tried this formula before. I do like it. It's not as easy as some of the other eyeshadows I use, but it's still a very good formula. It gets very, very good reviews. So I've got my eye on that. That's a little easier to swallow. That's $29 compared to $65 or $125. Moving on to hair care, my first is just some repurchases. I'm a big fan of the Olaplex conditioner and Olaplex shampoo, so I'm gonna be picking up more of that because I'm almost out of my shampoo. And then the other thing I was looking at is this from Color Wow. This is their Dream Coat Supernatural Spray Anti-Frizz Treatment. So I've noticed that I blow dry my hair a lot and I get a lot of kind of flyaways and frizz on the top of my head. And I use a product right now, It's a 10, the leave-in, which I do like, but I want to try an anti-frizz treatment. And this one caught my eye. It's newer. It's got great reviews. So I'm thinking about picking it up. It's $28 for 6.7 ounces. But if you have any recommendations for an anti-frizz treatment that's not too heavy, I do have more fine hair and I have oily hair. So I have to be very careful about how heavy products are because my hair is weighed down very, very easily, but at the same time, it gets frizzy. So if you have any thoughts on this, if you've tried it before, I would love to hear about it. And then finally, anytime this sale comes around, I think about picking up a new perfume. I am perfume obsessed. I'm actually going to be uploading a favorite spring perfume video in the next 2 weeks. And I'm really, really excited to share my favorite spring perfumes. So I kind of go back and forth with these sales of, do I pick up a new perfume? Do I pick up one that I'm running out of? What do I do in this situation? And that's exactly where I am right now. In my favorites, my first perfume on this list is from Yves Saint Laurent or YSL. This is the Mon Paris Eau de Parfum. I really, really like this perfume, and I had a travel spray that I literally just ran out of. And so I've been talking about, I gotta pick up a full size, and I'm thinking about doing that. If you like fruits of the forest, meaning strawberry, raspberry, blackberry, that's what this perfume is. It's a musk-based perfume. There's a little patchouli in it as well, but what you get for the most part are those fruits, those deep red fruits, and it's a really beautiful perfume. They recently came out with a intense version. It's called Intensement. So an intense version of this perfume, it's in this like dark hot pink liquid with this dark bottle, and that is a black currant perfume. So it still kind of has that Mon Paris DNA to it, but the red fruit at the top, as the top note, is more deep. It's that black currant. It's more intense. And that's also a beautiful perfume, but that's something that I would wear like at night, not necessarily throughout the day. The other perfumes I was looking at, I'm a big fan of Atelier. They do a lot of citrusy perfumes, and as we move into the summer, I tend to really gravitate towards very fresh, kind of citrusy perfumes where I wouldn't even touch them in the winter. And the one I was looking at is new. It's called Lemon Island. It is a lemony kind of light floral. It's a really, really nice perfume. So I was thinking about picking that one up. And then the other one is one I've had my eye on for a long time. I had a little sample that I used to death, and that is called Pomelo Paradis. This is a grapefruit perfume. Grapefruit is one of my favorite perfume notes. And in fact, I have a candle that I got from a small company that is called Salted Grapefruit. And I swear to God, if someone said to me, Angie, I want you to create a perfume brand, my first perfume I would launch would be a salted grapefruit perfume. I love it so much, and I have not been able to find a perfume that mimics that smell before. But the problem with grapefruit and perfumes is it can go bad real fast. And what I mean by that is it's all about your body chemistry. Certain grapefruit smells amazing on skin, And then there's been a few grapefruit perfumes. They can turn and smell like cat pee. No one wants to smell like cat pee. And I had heard people say this. I had seen it on a few blogs and stuff. And I was like, really? That's what? And I love grapefruit perfume. So I was like, really? That's never happened to me. And then this summer, it happened to me. I got a sample of a specific grapefruit perfume that I wanted to try. And within 2 minutes, I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about. It was so awful. I was like, oh, that's terrible. So you just got to be really, really careful. But this one's beautiful. It is grapefruit, but it is got a little sweetness to it. So it's not as sharp as a lot of grapefruit, bitter or sharp as a lot of grapefruit perfumes are. This one does have some sweetness to it. And Atelier just knows how to do citrus. That is their bread and butter. That's what they do. So if you're looking for citrusy perfumes, I highly recommend trying this brand. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed going through my wish list for the Sephora sale. I would love to know what's on your wish list, what you're thinking about picking up. Have you tried any of these products? Can you help me out? I don't want to waste my money either. If there's any of these products that you want me to review on my channel, I am happy to do it. So I hope you hit that like button below and you subscribe to my channel, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye, you guys.